My name is Doug Miller. I am Vice President of the PNBOA, and we would like to welcome you to the beginning of the 2012-2013 season. If everyone could make sure you check your phones, make sure they're on silent so we're not getting constant interruptions, that would be great. Some things that are going to happen tonight. First, we'll introduce you to some leadership ideas. The PNBOA Big 5 Goals. These are the goals that your board has put forth on what we want to work on for the year. We're going to go through the member service agreement, and then we're going to go into some breakout sessions. Basically, we're going to have 3 different rooms, and this is a new training function that we're going to try this year. We'll see if you like it, see if you don't like it, and there's some different topics that each of you will be able to peruse if you want to be in any one of the rooms. There will be a session here for varsity officials in this room that any varsity officials will have to go through training on some specific things. But based on that, let's take a moment, relax, and be present. Oh, wait, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. And first of all, thank you, Tim. We're going to be doing some presentations throughout the year, and one of the presentations that didn't happen at the banquet was our Person of the Year didn't receive anything. And Velko, could you come on up here, please? There are a couple people who didn't get anything. We wanted to make sure we got them taken care of. So we've got this great shirt for Velko Goodwitch.
Is it a large or medium?
I think it'll fit you. If you'd like to speak.
No,
come on.
I spoke already.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Person of the Year.
So would somebody please ask the question, why are we required to come to a meeting if we voted not to have meeting requirements?
Why are we required to
Oh, come on, everybody, let's, why are we
required to hear?
No, more grumbling.
Our president passed the bylaw that we were not going to have any more mandatory meetings, and all of a sudden mandatory and required just come flying at us.
This is the PNBOA I know. So the board sat down and we reviewed the impacts of what no meetings meant, and while we totally agree with, we want to continue with having no meeting requirements, we didn't feel we could effectively organize the group and move forward into each year without having one meeting at the beginning where we all sit down, make sure we're on the same page moving forward into the year. So unless the board changes it, each year you should expect that board policy will require one meeting, and from then on out, it's up to you whether you want to engage and at what level. So thank you for being here on a Monday night. There'll be a second opportunity soon. Let's get right into business. We have a quick video for you to watch, and we're going to talk a little bit about some leadership ideals.
How many of you are completely comfortable with calling yourselves a leader? See, I've asked that question all the way across the country, and everywhere I ask it, no matter where, there's always a huge portion of the audience that won't put up their hand. And I've come to realize that we have made leadership into something bigger than us. We made it into something beyond us. We made it about changing the world. And we've taken this title of leader and we treat it as if it's something that one day we're going to deserve. But to give it to ourselves right now means a level of arrogance or cockiness that we're not comfortable with. And I worry sometimes that we spend so much time celebrating amazing things that hardly anybody can do that we convinced ourselves that those are the only things we're celebrating. And we start to devalue the things that we can do every day. And we start to take moments where we truly are a leader, and we don't let ourselves take credit for it, and we don't let ourselves feel good about it. And I've been lucky enough over the last 10 years to work with some amazing people who have helped me redefine leadership in a way that I think has made me happier. And with my short time today, I just want to share with you the one story that is probably most responsible for that redefinition. I went to a school in a little school called Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. And on my last day there, a girl came up to me and she said, "I remember the first time that I met you." And then she told me a story that happened 4 years earlier. She said, On my day before I started university, I was in the hotel room with my mom and my dad, and I was so scared and so convinced that I couldn't do this, that I wasn't ready for university, that I just burst into tears. And my mom and my dad were amazing. They were like, look, we know you're scared, but let's just go tomorrow. Let's go with the first day. And if at any point you feel as if you can't do this, that's fine. Just tell us and we'll take you home. We love you no matter what. And she said, so I went the next day and I was standing in line getting ready for registration, and I looked around and I just knew I couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't ready. I knew I had to quit. And she says, I made that decision, and as soon as I made it, there was this incredible feeling of peace that came over me. And I turned to my mom and my dad to tell them that we needed to go home. And just at that moment, you came out of the Student Union building wearing the stupidest hat I have ever seen in my life. It was awesome. And you had a big sign promoting Shine RM, which is Students Fighting Cystic Fibrosis, a charity I've worked with for years. And you had a bucket full of lollipops. And you were walking along, and you were handing the lollipops out to people in line and talking about Shine RM. And all of a sudden, you got to me, and you just stopped, and you stared. It was creepy. This girl right here knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then you looked at the guy next to me, and you smiled, and you reached in your bucket, you pulled out a lollipop, and you held it out to him. And you said, you need to give a lollipop to the beautiful woman standing next to you. And she said, I have never seen anyone get more embarrassed faster in my life. He turned beet red. He wouldn't even look at me. He just kind of held the lollipop out like this. And I felt so bad for this dude that I took the lollipop. And as soon as I did, you got this incredibly severe look on your face, and you looked at my mom and my dad and you said, look at that, look at that. First day away from home, and already she's taking candy from a stranger. And she said everybody lost it. 20 feet in every direction, everyone started to howl. And I know this is cheesy, and I don't know why I'm telling you this, but in that moment when everyone was laughing, I knew that I shouldn't quit. I knew that I was where I was supposed to be, and I knew that I was home. And I haven't spoken to you once in the 4 years since that day, but I heard that you were leaving. And I had to come up and tell you that you've been an incredibly important person in my life, and I'm going to miss you. Good luck. And she walks away, and I'm flattened. And she gets about 6 feet away, she turns around and smiles and goes, you should probably know this too. I'm still dating that guy 4 years later. A year and a half after I moved to Toronto, I got an invitation to their wedding. Here's the kicker, I don't remember that. I have no recollection of that moment, and I've searched my memory banks because that is funny, and I should remember doing it, and I don't remember it. And that was such an eye-opening, transformative moment for me to think that maybe the biggest impact I ever had on anyone's life, a moment that had a woman walk up to a stranger 4 years later and say, you've been an incredibly important person in my life, was a moment that I didn't even remember. How many of you guys have a lollipop moment, a moment where someone said something or did something that you feel fundamentally made your life better? All right. How many of you have told that person they did it? See, why not? We celebrate birthdays where all you have to do is not die for 365 days. And yet we let people who have made our lives better walk around without knowing it. And every single one of you has been the catalyst for a lollipop moment. You have made someone's life better by something that you said or that you did. And if you think you haven't, think about all the hands that didn't go back up when I asked that question. You're just one of the people who hasn't been told. But it is so scary to think of ourselves as that powerful. It can be frightening to think that we can matter that much to other people. Because as long as we make leadership something bigger than us, as long as we keep leadership something beyond us, as long as we make it about changing the world, we give ourselves an excuse not to expect it every day from ourselves and from each other. Marianne Williamson said, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us. And my call to action today is that we need to get over that. We need to get over our fear of how extraordinarily powerful we can be in each other's lives. We need to get over it so we can move beyond it. And our little brothers and our little sisters, and one day our kids, or our kids right now, can watch us start to value the impact we can have on each other's lives more than money and power and titles and influence. We need to redefine leadership as being about lollipop moments. How many of them we create, how many of them we acknowledge, how many of them we pay forward, and how many of them we say thank you for. Because we've made leadership about changing the world, and there is no world. There's only 6 billion understandings of it. And if you change one person's understanding of it, one person's understanding of what they're capable of, one person's understanding of how much people care about them, one person's understanding of how powerful an agent for change they can be in this world, you change the whole thing. And if we can understand leadership like that, I think if we can redefine leadership like that, I think we can change everything. And it's a simple idea, but I don't think it's a small one. And I want to thank you all so much for letting me share it with you today.
So that video, when I saw it, kind of spoke to me, because I truly believe that everybody in the PNBOA is a leader. And we're a leader for each other, but we're also a leader for the student athletes that we impact and the coaches we impact and the parents, and especially with the number of recreation games this association does every year, we can have a lollipop moment or an impact on many, many lives. So as we go throughout our training sessions, you'll hear leadership as an overall theme, and I don't want you to think of leadership as the board of directors or the varsity official on the crew or the person with the most experience. I want us to all understand that each one of us is a leader in our own right, and we have the ability to impact a lot of people through our association with the PNBOA. So this summer at the board retreat, I asked the board of directors to throw up onto the whiteboard everything we face as a challenge in our organization in terms of getting better. And we probably had a list of 30 or so items. And of those 30, there was definitely overlap between some of the items, and we distilled it all down into 5 things that we're calling the Big 5. And as we move throughout this season, you'll see a definite focus on these 5 goals. Now, this doesn't mean it's the only thing we're working on. It doesn't mean we ignore other things, but you'll definitely see a theme in focusing on these 5 goals. So I'm going to ask members of the board of directors come up and just to briefly explain what we were thinking about during our retreat when we selected these 5 goals.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming on Monday nights. I'm Nick Michael, the apprentice chairperson. The first of our big 5 is strengthening our partnerships. We have several partnerships. We have them with schools and ADs, the Snohomish-Tacoma Association, the WOA, and the SOWB. So the ones we're really focusing on this year is the WOA and the SOWB. The apprentice program is a great example of how we work together with the SOWB to put together a program that's very successful. And the SOWB helps us greatly in putting the program together and helping us with it. And we're just going to continue to do those. We're starting to work more this year with the evaluations so that they're more consistent between the 2 associations and just continue to strengthen that partnership.
John Lindsay, the signer. Basically, our relationship with SLWB and Leslie and I is we're work together really well, and we get along really well, which is sometimes can be a challenge and things like that. She's like a work wife and things like that. So she has yelled and screamed at me, so the relationship sometimes can be one-sided. But you know, we want people to work basketball, and we want people to work as many games in this association. It's from the PNBOA, it's from the rec side, it's girls basketball and things like that. There's plenty of games within our own organization that we don't need to go look for other games. The reason you're in this group is that you hopefully, besides the recreational part of it, is that you want to work school ball. You want to move up in the association. You want to get better. It might not be the college level is what you want to be. You know, you can be the best high school official in the state. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So it doesn't have to be a goal of a collegiate official. But there's plenty of games that work. The more games you work at, we think the better you're going to be. Our relationship with WOA is something that's always ongoing. We have region representatives that we try to use. Ira Dunbar is our representative for Region 2. So we try to use that. We have many members that attended the WOA conferences. So we have a good relationship. I personally have a good relationship with Todd. Which helps us out, obviously, I think, in the long run. But it's just something we try to do every year, strengthen those. We got the books, you know, earlier than anybody this year just because of these meetings. They'll help us out when we need to, and I think we need to use our size and the big association. We need to use that as an advantage when we deal with WOA. And with Region 2, and remember that we deal with 3 districts. The District 1 is the Shoreline Schools, and the Edmond School District is all part of District 1. District 3 is all the Seamont schools, the South Puget Sound, those are District 3. So we're one of the rare associations in the state that actually services 3 different districts. And they all are a little bit different, but we try to make sure that we have good relationship with all of those. And Joe Thompson serves on the board, our representative official in Region 2, so he's been very helpful with concerns from that. So we're trying to look at everything every year with these different groups. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Wood. Microphone. I want to talk about accountability in the simplest form, to each other, to the group. Shouldn't have to tell you to show up on time to games, to meetings. It's great that so many of you came here, albeit by under, threatening email. But staying off the radar is really easy by being accountable to yourselves, being accountable to the group. If there's anything you see at a game or something that you wouldn't approve of, you can contact any one of the board members, or there's a short form on our new website, and it goes directly to me, and we can talk about it. It's pretty easy.
I would probably, I'm Craig Tamaki, ex-ENG chair, and now the current treasurer. Going off what Aaron kind of said about accountability, don't be afraid to have that courageous conversation with that person at that time. Do it in such a way that they are receptive to what you're trying to say to them, whether it be, hey, I noticed you got the flag on, but he's doing a rec game type of thing. Little things add up, and they'll mean a lot down the road. So my role as a treasurer is to basically hold our assigners accountable, because that's basically how you guys get paid, through their invoices and how they collect the invoices. So I see that as keeping John and Leslie in line so that you guys can get paid. Other than that, welcome to the season. Thank you for all for coming.
Hey, I'm Rod Thornley. I'm membership, and we want to get you guys engaged. The membership committee spent some time sending you guys emails, get your pictures on Arbiter. We've got a camera out here, get your picture on Arbiter. It really makes it easy if you're a varsity official, evaluating JVs, you've never seen them before. For our observers, observing varsity, they've never seen you before. They kind of pick out a crowd and put a name with a face. So that's why we do it. Nobody sees this outside of our own membership. So you guys did a great job of doing that. With Mark Clue's idea, sorry Mark. We've added categories up there to help you guys understand our membership a little bit better. So now you have the year you started in the PNBOA. We have your level of officiating. We have if you've been 3-person trained. And we have one more. What was the other one? No, that wasn't it. Maybe only 3. But it's, you guys can switch 3 of these things. You guys can put the year that you're in there, and you guys can put it in a 3-person train. You can't put whether you're a varsity or JV. We don't want people messing around with that little deal. But it's really good, so I'll show you how to do that, but they're going to do that little session later on. And Leslie has a few thoughts for us.
Just as far as engaging our members to support and encourage each other, constantly communicate, especially double checking your see if your partners view their game as well as you. Be a mentor. I think find a young, upcoming new official. We have our rookies starting in here soon. Volunteer to mentor somebody. Go out and watch their games. This is your association. Become involved. You can make it. All of us can make it. What you want it to be. And I'm Leslie, your sign, by the way.
And you guys did a great job. And I heard someone say earlier you came on Monday night because our next session on Saturday will be the board and like 12 other people. So good job.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Andy Roycewig. I'm the secretary. Another one of my roles in the organization is head of the technology committee. And so as one of our focuses this year, and that is finding additional ways to communicate, and we want to do that through technology. Obviously, most of you know that it's mainly via email and via phone right now, and those are our primary channels. We try and reach you, we try and do things to engage you, as Leslie and Rodney talked about. But we know also that those aren't always effective. So we're looking for other ways to get the word out, to get the message out. Things like Facebook, things like Twitter, things like YouTube. Those are other channels where we feel like we can push information out to you guys in a more frequent fashion, and that's part of the goal. So we're not overloading your inboxes with emails that you ignore anyway. So we want to make sure the content is relevant. We want to get it out there. We want you to feel engaged with it. We're going to continue to try some things. On our new website, we're going to do more with blogs, and we'd like those to be very interactive. So hopefully all of you had a chance to peruse the new website. We hope it's providing good information for you. We want it to be a resource that you will continue to go back to. And then lastly, Arbiter. I don't think it's any secret that Arbiter has its challenges. We understand that as a board. We are working with Arbiter to find ways to make that experience for you better. It's not always easy to do. It has to do with money and the things that they're capable of doing, and so we're trying to manage what we can do to make that user experience better for you, okay? So please reach out on those other channels. If you're on Facebook, like us on Facebook. If you're on Twitter, follow us and be a part of those channels. We'll continue to push information out here as time goes on. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. I'm Paul Shoemaker. I'm your newest board member. It's a pleasure and honor to serve you. The evaluations thing I'm not quite as sure about yet. I'll let you know, and I assume you guys will let me know that too. Just a few things on this topic. First of all, with SOWB, my counterpart is Mike Lloyd, and we're looking at ways to constantly improve our evaluation. We're looking at the form, we're evaluating the use of video, we're looking at how we can do a better job of evaluating registered officials. I'll talk more about that at the mid-November meeting. And it has also been great to have Mark Cook be in charge of the paid evaluators. He's had a lot of great input and had 1 year at that cycle now, so he's going to add a lot to our evaluation process. Secondly, we're trying to always constantly incorporate more training and incorporate your feedback and make it ongoing. That one-page handout you've got, if you look at the curriculum that's there available to people over the course of the season, it's pretty awesome. When I go do summer camps and you hear people in other parts of the state or other regions, and they understand the kind of training that we have access to, they're pretty blown away. So we're lucky to have that. And lastly, on three-person mechanics, on some of the off nights, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, on JV, we will try to do three-person crews as much as is possible. Thanks.
So Paul was referencing the grid that you were handed when you came in the door. If you don't have one, look on your neighbors. It has all the training for the whole year. And we're going to explain a little later how we're going to move from breakout session to breakout session. But it is important tonight that all varsity officials attend crew chief training at some point because we are implementing crew chiefs. However, that isn't limited to varsity officials. Anyone is welcome to attend that if they want to learn what information is being pushed out to varsity. There is no change to your member service agreement this year. It is the exact same agreement that took place last year. It will be electronic and online.
All right, so to the website, this is everybody's, I guess, first official piece of business in terms of the registration going on here. So this is where the MSA is located. Hopefully everybody's seen the new website. You'll go to the members only section. If you need to, you'll put in the password, which is jump shot, one word. Okay? Click on the MSA, and then you'll be able to actually read through it. And then at the bottom, you'll enter your name, you'll enter your email address, and you'll check a box that says, I have read and accept the terms and conditions of the MSA. And then we have what's called a digital signature, and you basically just type your name again. Hit submit, and you will get an email shortly thereafter confirming that you have accepted it. That's all you have to do. And it is due October 1st. Okay, it is live as we speak, so you want to do that first thing when you get home, that's great, but it's after October 1st. And that is when the existing, the current MSA expires actually on September 30th, so the new MSA has to take effect October 1st, okay? Questions on how to get there? Okay, great.
All right, so now we're going to get into our new format. We're going to have 3 different rooms. Andy's going to go through all the breakout training and where we're going. But, you know, this is a new format. We're trying something different, so to try and give everyone maybe a flavor, different flavor of what you want to see, get some different information, something that's tailored towards you, whereas sometimes we're talking about only varsity stuff, or sometimes we talk about registered stuff. This way you get a chance to go to the room that you want and learn the stuff that you want to learn. So, Andy?
So tonight we've got basically 3 sessions. The crew chief training, which is required for all of the varsity officials that are in here, that's going to be in this room in about a minute. Even if you're not varsity, you are welcome to participate in this training. It's good for everybody, varsity or not, to understand the move towards crew chiefs and how those will be assigned. Okay, so that is the session in this room. I think Arbiter is breaking up with me. That is going to be in room N204, which I think is over there. And Leslie and Mark are going to take you through some of the tips and the tricks. If you're interested in getting a better feel for how Arbiter works, if you're having challenges, issues, that sort of thing, that'll be a really good session to get some good information on. And then the last one we're going to do over here in N208, which is just out these doors, is controlling the things that you can control. And basically, Nick and I are just going to walk through the things that we feel are important for those of us as officials to be successful. And a lot of that has to do with controlling the things that we can control. Okay, so those are the 3 breakout sessions. They'll last for about half an hour, and then we'll rotate.
So everyone will have the opportunity to attend 2 of the 3 breakout sessions. So for the next hour, all of these sessions will run simultaneously, and you can move from room to room to see the sessions that are most applicable to you. And that's how training will go for the rest of the year. At the end of 60 minutes, which is 8:30, you don't need to come back here. You're done for the evening. Have a great night. There is a special committee meeting in this room at 8:30, so we do need to clear out of here, and those that know they need to attend that meeting will meet in here at 8:30. Other than that, take a look at the breakout sessions, decide where you want to go, and of note, on the back of your training calendar is a mock-up pregame contract or pregame review sheet. It's not all-inclusive. There are others that are also posted online. We have several different variations. So pick a room to go to, and please head out to the breakout rooms. Thank you.